Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. And today we are here to talk about doubling down with the Derricos Season 2, Episode 11 Regret and Motivation. It is the season finale, you guys. We made it. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So the episode opens with Mom, Dad, and Gigi in the kitchen. The kids are upstairs playing all over the bunk beds and making lots of noise, I'm sure, but I'm sure they're used to it. So they're in the kitchen and Mom is in the sink, and then Dad comes in and he's just like, move, move, look, because what is this? And what are you doing here? And she's like, it's only one thing in there. And he's like, no, because what is that? Like, he's just finding fault and being an ass. Like, ain't no way I could have dealt with him. So more power to you, Mom, but this man is just ridiculous a little bit, and I've been trying to go nice on him, but he's a little ridiculous, you guys. Then she says how they've been kind of going at it since he told her no, basically. And I'm like, oh, girlfriend, I know how that is. We as women know that once you tell us no, our patience can be really thin. You know how you just be not really on edge, but everything they do just irritates you because whatever for you. So that's pretty much what they're going through right now. And then, of course, we have to get back to his OCD. And I'm so glad. Well, that's okay. We're going to get into it because after this episode, I better not ever hear them say he has OCD again. We don't have to do that drinking game anymore, you guys. Finally, he's going to therapy to either be diagnosed with OCD or just drama. I figured the therapist can either be like, listen, dude, you're just dramatic. It's not OCD. But she's all happy that he's going. And he says, listen, this is the way my mother raised me. And now she has an issue with it. And this is the way you met me. And you loved it at first. And now you have an issue just because I am. And she's like, what? And he says, cleaner than you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Girl, don't let him get away with that. Karen, don't let him talk to you like that. Karen tells a story about when she was in labor, she almost had one of her kids in the car because during a blizzard, this man had to take a full shower and bath before he took her to the to the emergency room while she was in labor. And I'm like, he's just ridiculous. Girl, stop letting him do you any kind of way just because. No, he would need to change that shit up. Like, it's not always about him. And she needs to put her foot down sometimes. He tells Karen, whatever OCD is, you are the opposite of that. And he calls her junkie. She says, no, OCD would be you, and I'm just nonchalant. And I'm like, maybe that's not the word that you were looking for, ma'am, but it's okay. And then he goes, whatever, girl. Girl, please, bye. No, he didn't do all that, but I'm just playing. Y'all gonna be mad at me this episode because I gotta get some shit off, especially about him and Eric coming up later. So just be prepared to be mad. Again, disclaimer, I like the family. They're cool. Dad is a lot, though. Dad's a lot. So he makes it to the therapist's office, and she's blown away by the fact that he has 12 billion kids. She basically asks him, does he have anxiety and all that? He says no. And I'm just going to speed through it. What her findings was that he does not have OCD. Basically, to me, he's just probably anal. There's a difference. You guys, I had a boyfriend that was anal, and it was so ridiculous. Oh my God, he irritated the entire crap out of me. Before we did anything, now we were together for years, so I'm not just talking about a fly-by-night boyfriend, but before we did anything, he would have to take off his clothes and fold them and put them nice and neatly on a chair. And I was like, what the hell? I also have long hair, and I would wrap it up while sitting in bed, and he would be like, do you have to comb your hair in the bed because there's hair all over the bed? Can you not comb your hair in the bed? He didn't sound like a gay guy, guys. I don't know why I have him sounding like that. Probably because I would probably tease him about being a metrosexual or something today if it were not like a billion years ago. But yeah, just complaint after complaint because he was just so, his cornbread had to be cut in half with butter in the middle and just ridiculous. And I put up with that. I was a Karen. Don't be like that, Karen. Don't let him have all your good years. So anyway, we do not want to hear him say he's OCD anymore. You're not. We're done with OCD, dude. Okay, so they're doing the interview, and then all of a sudden Karen says, hold on. And she says that she can't move her right arm, although it was moving a little bit. But after that, she stopped moving it. But she was moving a little bit when she first said that it went limp. Not trying to downplay or anything, but it was moving. Upon the second time watching it, I'm like, oh, it's not totally paralyzed. She's moving it. She just really did go limp. So it's so stupid, you guys. The producers and everything are like, oh my God, do you want us to call 911? Would you like to go in the ambulance? Are you okay? Can you, like, what would you like for us to do? Is it an emergency? Do you think it's an emergency? You guys, do you think it's an emergency? And I'm like, what the hell? Call 911, dummies. You see her sitting there acting like she can't breathe, she can't talk, she can't do anything, eyes closing and everything, and they're trying to have a full-on conversation with this lady. So finally the EMTs come, and in a situation that I am going to say is staged, you guys. Now, am I saying that she may not have been sick or something wrong with her? No, I am not. However, I am saying that an EMT standing there medically diagnosing her is not going to happen. He's not going to stand there and be like, oh, I think you had a stroke, because it sounds like what y'all telling me, you had a stroke. No EMT is going to do that. They cannot do that. So they came up with the whole stroke thing to beef up the drama. One thing I've realized about this show right here, Dad and the producers know how to beef up the drama, because how much real drama can you technically have in a family? Like, okay, you can have some drama, but it's not really all that dramatic. But they know how to beef up the drama, you guys. And going forward, all we have is Dad and the cry face, and he's squeezing. Yeah, we'll get to it. Okay, so Dad's back, and he comes through the door. All the kids run to greet him. Oh my God, Dad, hey, hey. He's sniffling. Hey, hey babies, hey babies, hey babies. And they're like, what's wrong? Dad, where's Mom? Mommy is taking care of some business, constantly sniffling, trying to let people know that he has an issue, but don't want them to know that he has an issue. And I'm like, dude, stop playing it up for the cameras now. If you don't want to tell the kids what's going on, stop your phony sniffling. Stop it. Just cut it out. So he tells them to go upstairs, and I'm like, okay. So they had a house full of EMT producers, all this. The freaking ambulance came. Mom left in the ambulance and everything, and none of the kids saw this. None of the kids knew anything about Mom being sick or anything happening. Oh, okay. Yeah, so they send the kids upstairs, go upstairs and, close the door, turn on the radio. And I'm just like, she's gonna stand at the door. If she's a smart girl, that oldest child is going to stand at the door to hear. Because if you tell me to go upstairs and close the door, something's going on that I'm sure I want to know. So if she's like me, that door would have been cracked. All right, you guys, and this is where the drama comes in. Get ready to put 20 on 10. So he sends the kids upstairs so he could talk to Deon, Eric and Gigi, and she's like, what's happening? And he's like, well, it looks like, and he's talking slow just like this, she may have just had a stroke. And they're like, oh my God, a stroke? And he's like, yeah, because we were sitting there doing the interview, and her whole right side just went paralyzed. And that is where the 20 on 10 comes in, you guys. Her whole right side did not go paralyzed. It didn't. Not her whole right side. She couldn't move her arm, so she said, but she was still moving her head. She was still talking. Like, he was putting 20 on 10. And I swear to God, I'm not downplaying that something happened to her. It did. But he's adding the extra, which I don't really like. Don't add the extra drama. I guess, for the show. So he tells Gigi and Eric that he has experience with strokes because his grandma and his brother had one. And he's saying, I don't want to tell the children, so hopefully she'll be back before they ask. And I'm like, they just asked, so too late for that. So they're standing there, and Gigi's like, so how you doing? And he goes, oh, Mom. And he puts his head back on the refrigerator, and Eric is standing there, and he looks down, and he looks back at Deon, and he just wants to hold him. Like, I could tell. I was like, Eric just wants to hold him. But no, because Gigi got there first. Gigi got there and she started holding him. But then Eric was like, oh no, I will not be outdone. I am trying to hold him as well, Gigi. So I'm going to play it off and hold both of you. But I'm going to wrap my arms around this man right now because he needs me. Y'all, I am so trash, but it's true. Go back and watch it and see how Eric was looking at him like he just really wanted to wrap his arms around him. And he did. So Gigi's in the confessional and she's getting emotional, saying she can't believe she had a stroke. And my thing is, they did not say she had a stroke. Your son said she had a stroke. They didn't say she had a stroke. And she's like, well, if something happened to her, what would happen with her family and Deon and everything? So she starts crying, very emotional, just like her son. Now back in the kitchen, they talk some more. He starts crying again. Gigi says, I know. And she goes to hug him and she's hugging him. And again, Eric comes in. And I know this lady has to be like, why can I not hug my kid without you being all over us? Mainly him. But why can't I do it? Why can't I hug him alone? And I really need y'all to go back and watch, because as they're hugging, Deon feels Eric's arm and he just starts holding and rubbing Eric's arm. Y'all, okay, it's the finale. Let's get it. It's the finale, y'all. Let's get it out. What we thinking? What we thinking here? Eric, get off of his back every time somebody hugs him. Get off of him. That's his free. He's like, oh, we're hugging, we're touching in front of people. Like, we can do this right now. That is when he goes all in. All right, and a little behind the scenes tea. Basically, from what I hear, Eric is not the only wayward kid that they have taken in. Apparently, there was another guy that they had taken in when he was young, and they call him their oldest son, but I don't think he was a biological son for real. That it was just somebody like Eric. Anyway, long story short, it ended up in the guy suing Deon Derrico, and it was just a big old mess. So I don't know what's going on with the fact that Deon likes to take in so many wayward boys. That is, like, there is something to that, and the anklet. But anyway, Eric, from what I heard, had been married before, and I think he's divorced now. They say he has a girlfriend. Let me see if I can insert a picture of, I don't know if this is the ex-wife or the current girlfriend, but we see him with a girl, we see him with a lady, but hell, we see Deon with Karen. So anyway, let me see if I can find this picture, y'all. Okay, so this is her. She's pretty. I don't know, again, if that's the ex-wife or the current girlfriend. I think it's the current girlfriend, but yeah, she's a pretty beard. Okay, so Gigi has the kids doing little arts and crafts, trying to keep them out the way. And Eric is there doing his arts and crafts as well. They're making t-shirts. And you guys, the way Eric interacts with the kids is like he's one of the kids. I'm sorry, but he does. Some kind of way throughout his life, something happened that he definitely has what seems to be arrested development. I don't know for sure. God, I am giving so many opinions in this one, you guys. So I might not like it. I'm sorry, but I do feel like something's going on with Eric where he interacts with the children as a child himself. In my opinion, all of these are thoughts and opinions of my own. So as they're doing the arts and crafts, De'Ara tells Gigi she wants her to take her to the mall tomorrow. Gigi's like, what's going on at the mall? She's like, oh, nothing. So Gigi says, oh, are you boy hunting? Or either one of the kids says she's boy hunting. And she goes, yeah. And Gigi's like, oh, Lord. So then it's so cute. We have the twins. And one of them is saying, well, she has to be dressed real nice and she has to be real nice to the boy. And then the other one says, no, the boy has to be real nice to her. And I'm like, yes, come through. And then the other one says, well, they have to be nice to each other. And again, the other twin says, yeah, but the boy mainly has to be nice to the girl. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about, young man. That's what I'm talking about. So Gigi asks her, have you talked to Mike? That's the guy that she went out on the date with, I think in the last episode. And she says, no, not really. And she says, we just don't talk. And in her confessional, she says, yeah, I don't think he likes me like that because we've been friends forever. So, okay, that's okay. I mean, we liked Mike, but yeah, he seemed a little more mature. So that's fine that her and Mike are not a thing. So Gigi asked, what kind of boy do you like? And she said, any boy that likes me, because the boys that I like don't like me. And yeah, when she said that, I was just like, oh, no, mama, no. We don't like any boy that likes us. You are setting yourself up, ma'am. I don't know why she's in such a rush. I mean, I guess she's at that age where hormones and things, but girl, slow down. There's so much time for boys. I swear. I don't know. She just wants some kisses and hugs and hopefully not to make a whole lot of babies like her mama. No shade, but shade. I just need her to slow down. But this did not sit right with Gigi as well. And she's just like, no, 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 you don't. You don't want any boy just because he wants you. And I'm like, you better preach, Gigi. Thank God they have Gigi in that house. All right, y'all. We now have Deon again, unable to really see her or talk to her because of the COVID restrictions and stuff, and the fact that they're still doing testing. So he's doing not even a confessional, because it looks like it's like his own handheld camera where he's talking to it and he's crying and he's like, "Oh my God, I don't know what just happened. It looks like you had a stroke and we were talking and you were fine. And then, I just want to apologize for anything I have ever done to you in life. I just don't know what's going on." And he's squeezing and he's squeezing. And I don't think we got a tear, but we definitely got the cry face. He's good at making the cry face and the cry noise. I just want to say you something good. You something good. You something special. He makes the noises and the faces, but we get no waterworks. None. So now, you guys, oh, happy day. I know this is still a crying photo, but listen, we're going to go with it. But he comes downstairs and he hugs his mom and he's like, "Thank you," with a smile on his face. And she's like, "For what?" And he gives her a hug. And I'm like, y'all better hurry up before Eric come out of nowhere and get in on this. And he's like, "Yeah, thank you because Karen is okay." And she's like, "Oh, thank God." And they're just hugging and happy. So apparently she has a muscle spasm that she had in her back that's gone and traveled, and it went into temporary paralysis because it's been left untreated. I don't know how exactly do you treat a muscle spasm, because we have this same thing going on with my mom right now. She has a muscle spasm situation going on with her leg, and she's going to go and get it checked out, but we don't really know what it is that they can do, because I think it's definitely a muscle situation. But he says that's what was wrong with her and it was just temporary and she's fine. All right, so 6:30 the next morning, Deon gets up to go get her, and Eric is asleep on the living room floor, so he wakes him up. Eric, I'm going to get her, and if the kids wake up, send them back to bed or whatever. Eric's like, "Okay, cool. Drive safe, babe." And he's like, "Okay." No, he didn't say babe, but he's very worried about him. "Drive safely, please." That's very sweet, Eric. So we have Deon on his way to go get Karen, and he's in the car saying how, listen, this 24 hours it's caused a shift in his thinking, because he thought he was going to lose the love of his life, and that's serious. So now he's been thinking about what she wants to do and what she asked him and everything, and he's kind of having a change of heart, because what would he do without her? So now we have Karen. She's in the car. She's back with him, and she's pretty much saying how, ladies, you got to do self-care. Get that massage. Get whatever it is that you need at the time. Don't put yourself off, because, you got to take care of yourself. And then we're in the car with him, and he's saying how he's been thinking about what she asked, and I guess he pretty much lets her know that, yeah, he's open to it, and they can move to South Carolina where her family is. And she's saying how they can have so much more help and everything there. And I know Gigi is going to be like, "What am I, chopped liver? I'm trying to help y'all." But listen, if they have way more help and can give Gigi a break, then do whatever is best for them. You guys, when Mom got in the house, she took off her boots and went directly up to the babies. And she even made the comment, "Oh, I didn't even take off my coat." And my whole thing is, you ain't even wash your hands. Like, your husband was unable to come into the hospital due to COVID, and it's a pandemic, and we're still in it. I don't come in the house and do anything before I wash my hands and everything, and you are now touching babies and kissing on babies, and you got your hands, your outside clothes that you done been all in a hospital. Just couldn't have been me. And y'all OCD? Really? Is he really that OCD? Because he didn't pick up on the fact that he needed to wash his hands too? Come on, don't go touching your babies like that. It's a whole pandemic, you guys. Come on. So then we have Gigi and Darian, and they go to take a walk. And Gigi tells her, look, I'm about to go and see a friend of mine. And we know when older women say a friend of mine, then that's a guy friend. She didn't say my friend. She said a friend of mine. Okay, Gigi. That's what I'm talking about. Have your own life, Gigi. But she sits her down and she explains to her how, listen, what you said the other day did not come off really well. And you can't be like that. You have to put a little thought and effort behind who you allow to be with you. You can't just take any and everything that comes your way because number one, any and everything is gonna come your way. Like, we know that boys lie just to get anything. So you could technically get with a guy, she didn't say all this, I'm saying this. You could technically get with a guy who's thinking that, who you're thinking likes you, and no, he only wants one thing from you. So you have to have some sort of discernment when you're dealing with these people. You can't just go after whatever. But Gigi tells her that she has to know her self-worth because you have to pretty much have standards. You have to know how he is with you. How's he going to be as your husband or as your kid's father? Like, some thought and some standards have to go there. And then Darian says, oh, I sound desperate. And I'm like, oh, maybe she gets it. It sounded to me like she got it, and I was happy about that. But okay, Gigi, who's your little friend? Oh, okay, you guys. Gigi tells a story about how she thought this guy liked her and told her that he was going to take her to school or pick her up from school in his car, and she never got that ride. She ended up getting a baby at 15, and I'm like, oh, you got some kind of ride though, Gigi. I am trash. I swear to God, I am. Y'all, I'm just playing. But yeah, so she had her first baby at 15, which, whew, Jesus. And that's what I'm saying. It sounds like Darian just wants to get out there and get with it and get it on. And so, yeah, she definitely has to slow down. I am so glad. I know I said it already, but I am really glad they have Gigi. What would they do without Gigi? What would they do? Because I'm sorry, Karen is a hot mess in terms of her relationship and just being very complacent, and she gives the whole whatever you like sort of thing to me. And I do know that women are supposed to be submissive to their husbands, but she just seems to go a little bit overboard. It really, really, really is whatever he says goes. But anyway, back to Darian. And again, thank God she has Gigi, and I think she figured out what it is she needs to do in terms of these boys. Kind of slow down and take her time. All right, so now we're at this fair and photo shoot for the whole family, and Deon takes Gigi to the side and tells her, listen, we have an opportunity to invest in a business out in South Carolina where Karen's family is. And in her confessional, Gigi goes, I'm furious. Like, it's always something. So she asked them, what does that mean for me? So they tell her, oh, it's fine. You can come with us. And she says, I'm not going south. And in her confessional, she says, it's just something else. She's like, what next? And I'm saying, girl, every season, sorry, Gigi, he's going to create some sort of drama. So there's always going to be something. So be prepared. He's going to make sure that there's more seasons and more seasons. I'm not mad at him. Create the drama, get the seasons, get your money, Deon, but we're on to you. But yeah, prepare yourself, Gigi. Ha! Y'all, I love Gigi. He said, so what do you want to do then? And she said, what's best for me? And he says, which is? She says, I'll let you know when I figure it out, or, we're going to flow with it. And Karen's like, oh, you're going to love it out there. And she's like, no, I won't. I'm from the South. I'm not going south. I don't have to go back there. I'm from there. Like, you don't have to tell me what I'm going to love. Girl, little girl, basically, because she's a grown woman. She's been there, done that. So, no. Y'all making plans for her life for her. Gigi is not about it, and I appreciate that. And I really hope she don't go. Don't go, Gigi, even though they need you. Lord knows these kids need you for your common sense and your wisdom. But don't let these people just, your life. It's your life. So now here he comes making the drama. Oh, I don't know what I would do living without my mom. I can't go. I can't picture myself going there without her. I just can't do it. And he does it in the whole dramatic voice. And she's telling him, listen, I'm in Vegas because of you guys, following you guys. I'm not following you south. Okay, so in the confessional, Gigi says, I have a life of my own. And she says, in a year from now, I see myself in better health and possibly married. And she's like, y'all didn't know about that, did you? And she made a face like, mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Do it, Gigi. And it's so funny because as they're taking this picture, the photographer, Deon just utters under his breath, he reminds me of my father, or he looks like my father, something like that about his father. Gigi plays him dust. She does not even say anything about it. And I'm like, dude, yeah, just inside thoughts. Just keep that inside because Gigi doesn't care. Later for your dad. All right, and that is the end, you guys. They reflect on the year, and Karen in the confessional says that she feels like with a little persuading, Gigi can, be persuaded to come along with them. And to me, I'm like, she sounded like it was a definitive no to me. And I hope she keeps it that way. But yeah, so that's the end of this season. We will see you next time for season 3 because y'all know Deon brought the drama well enough for there to be a season 3. So let's go. I'll see you guys back for season 3. If you have not already, please like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe is a big deal. So if you have not, please do. Thank you. And I will talk to you guys soon. Smooches.